being as good as we thought, or really good players that you just don't want to have on your team that you're like, look, I understand it's a great player, but I don't want him, which is the point of you can have him. So we each came up with our roster, and now we're going to debate them, and we're going to come up with the official team. So where do you guys want to start? You want to start at the top?
Point guard. Start with point guard.
Okay. Since you guys both have De'Aaron Fox, kind of give me your notes on De'Aaron Fox, and then I'll rebuttal with Trae Young.
All right. My first thing, I have a quick note on De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
The guy averages 6 assists a game as a point guard. That's mid at best. And he's shooting under 30% from 3. This guy's on a max contract. He's supposed to be the star of a franchise. I still like De'Aaron Fox when he was out of Kentucky. He beat Lonzo in the tournament and all that. And but I can't, for this kind of contract that he's on, you can have him. I don't want him.
I guess, yeah. I didn't take into consideration the contract when I thought about him. He kind of came across my mind, but I also thought like Kings player. But go ahead, Joey. Give us your reasoning for De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah. So everything pretty much main category stat wise is down this year against his kind of trailing average against his prior 4. He's up 4 points per game, but that's probably more of a result of little big fish, little sea kind of thing where there's not much else there to go around. So he's kind of feasting on it, but everything else has pretty much dropped off. Shooting percentage, rebounds, assists, win shares, PER, everything is down. So for the guy who was supposed to be the guy, he is the guy, but he's also the guy on the Kings, and that's not really doing anything. Like, he's not standing out enough on that team to where it's like, hey, like, he's somebody you would want to have around. I mean,
like Halliburton.
The Kings think that, but that might be the answer enough, I guess. If the Kings think he was good enough to keep on their, if the Kings think he was good enough to keep on their team, then he's probably
that might be you guys' best argument.
Right.
You don't want.
All right, my rebuttal for Trae. I'm gonna try to get you guys to come on my side. My main argument with De'Aaron Fox is I just don't know if he's ever. Well, I know, again, high prospect, but I just don't know if he's ever really kind of had a moment there like Trae's had, where Trae really is a pretty good player. But some stats that I kind of found on him and why I wouldn't want him. He's a career -3 net rating. So, they do the offensive defensive rating. One of my favorite stats, I don't know why, for teams, but it's all I found that they do it for players too. And he's a -3 rating. This season, the last 2 seasons, he's just been a +1. So, yes, he's a great offensive player, scoring 29 points a game, but he's basically giving it all back immediately on the defensive side. Now, to compare him to, I think who does he get compared to the most is probably the guy you have here on your list that says the best players is Steph Curry.
Yeah.
He grabs that comparison. So for comparison, in Steph's best seasons, Steph was a net +21 and a +22. So
wow.
And Steph is not considered a great defender either. So it's not like, to me, I go, that's the guy you want. You want a Steph Curry in his best seasons. A +21, +22 is for a net rating is pretty crazy. He's a career average of a +11. And in his 4th season, which is what Trae Young is at now, Steph was a +8. So that's even before Steph was really fully Steph. That was before the championships and all that stuff. So he was a solid player then. I looked at true shooting percentage was one stat that I saw where, Trae Young, true shooting is pretty good at 60% or 600. But compared to Steph, that's where Steph's at this year. And it's kind of been a down year for Steph. So he's definitely had some better years. So that's kind of where I feel like Trae Young should be, you can have him.
So I look at this, the net rating thing got me a little bit. And when you think about the you can have them list, what I like to try to do with this starting 5 is have the best possible player to create essentially the largest amount of controversy behind it. And I feel like Trae Young fits that bill better than De'Aaron Fox, especially given the fact that 2 of 3 of us picked Fox over Trae or over, anyone. So I lean to Titus on this for Trae. Joey,
I might have convinced one. Joey,
I have been swayed.
Yes.
The net rating
Yeah.
is pretty glaring.
That one was glaring.
I mean, I knew his defense was bad, but the fact that you compared it to Steph like that, where it's like, hey, Steph's not a god
Yeah, he's not a
defensively
premier,
either,
yeah.
but he can still try a little bit more. You know,
I mean, if you describe Steph, you don't talk about
Yeah.
defense in the first 10 things you would discuss. And the fact that he's that much better, that's kind of seals it.
Yep.
That's rough. And we didn't watch Trae Young's getting beat Miami in round 1.
Yeah. I mean, look, the guy
we
made the
saw him
conference
again
finals.
after last year.
Yeah. And maybe I'm just a hater, Trae Young hater. I'll wear the jersey.
You couldn't wear your jersey well.
I think you're right. I think you're just a hater, pretty much. I mean, there aren't many players that you really stand behind.
That might be the guy for you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Joey was saying there's not a lot of guys that root. The problem is that the guys that root for are all so obvious. I don't have it is guys. If you're borderline, I'm like, yeah, get out of here.
But you do talk about Trae Young the most, so maybe this is just your sneaky way of you really do like it. You're just
maybe I do. Maybe I do.
Like your Skip Bayless, LeBron.
Yes, I'm gonna have a bone to pick with Trae Young for. Well, you know what? I think it's because I went off on that rant last year and he went to the conference final.
Yeah,
I will forever hate him for proving me wrong. So good luck to you, Trae. I love your. Actually, I love the jersey that I have. So
it's one of the best jerseys.
It's a sweet jersey.
Yeah,
it's a great fit. All right, so now out of another jersey player I have,